this space for rent. Carcone Carne is currently looking for trying to seduce sponsors, not just sponsors though. Carcone Carne, me, James Van Osdol, I would like partners in this show. I was working with Buona Beef a couple months ago. Great fit for the show. I think it worked out great for both of us. I want to find sponsors that benefit from being part of Carcone Carne, that I benefit from too. It's a mutual thing. It's a mutual benefit sort of situation. If you manage or own a business and want to get involved in the high stakes, high paced world of podcasting, let's do some cool stuff together. So last week, there were some technical problems on my guest's side, and that meant I didn't get to do a podcast last week, which was weird, but I'm back and I'm happy to report there's a lot of cool stuff coming up. I'm going to return to in-person recording next month at the Wiener Circle. I'll be talking to the Wiener Circle staff, and I'll be joined by a Carcone Carne and really a Chicago favorite guest. More to come on that. And as I start to map out what these next few months look like, as I start to map out what it'll be like to return to the Mazda, going to restaurants and brew pubs and far-flung locations in the city and suburbs, I'm open to guest ideas and restaurant ideas. Obviously, local music is a big part of what this podcast is, but it's not all this podcast is. I'll talk to anybody. Truly interesting people. That's really the criteria. But tonight, we are definitely focusing on local music. It's a band that is turning heads, turning ears, a band I enjoy very much. It is the band Nora Marks. I'm joined tonight by Michael, Matthew, Rob, and Matt. Good evening, gentlemen. Robbie and Matt.
Thanks for having us.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Nora Marks, I'm recording this on February 17th, which is a Thursday. Cobra Lounge this Saturday night is where we can find you performing live. Right? Cobra Lounge Saturday.
Yep. Correct.
Fantastic. This is good promotion. Now, for people listening, because this is a podcast, Matt, what are you waving by your Zoom camera? Is that a hot dog? What am I looking at?
This is the Weenie Mobile. This is a resin print from the Henry Ford Museum outside Detroit. It's to coincide with our Cobra Lounge show on the 19th, since it's sponsored by Soothsayer Hot Sauce. There's hot dog eating contest, and I just was going to put this on my bass amp and I just showed off.
Is there anything sexier than a hot dog eating contest?
Oh, we will see.
No, Robbie. He's our participant for our band. He's representing us.
So what's the key to winning one of those things?
I do have a strategy. I've been since Tuesday, I've basically kind of been eating as much as I can every day. I didn't know if we were going to eat on this one, so I did bring a sandwich just in case.
Oh yeah, feel free. We're not in the car, but I mean, let's stay true to the whole idea behind the show, please.
So yeah, I've been eating big all week, and then on Saturday I'm not going to eat anything at all. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to adopt the Kobayashi Joey Chestnut method, which is like dip the hot dogs in water, break them in half, and then kind of try and do 2 bites per dog. And last night I ate 5 hot dogs, like as like a test to see like what does eating 5 hot dogs in a row taste like. And it's a nightmare. It's
because of the bread, right? I mean,
no, I honestly think I shouldn't have gotten the like full Vienna beef franks, because like after 5 beef, you might as well have like 5 kielbases. It's just like I needed to go something like Oscar Mayer or something a little more entry level, that breaks down more easily. The Portillo's hot dog was a lot. 5 plain. That was the other thing, is they're all plain.
Yeah.
Like I love a Chicago style. Drag it to the garden, give me the whole works. I'll even put ketchup on mine. Fuck you.
Hey.
Not you. You. There are people out there that are saying it to me right now. So it's
Christ on a crutch. We just met. Settle down.
But yeah, so that's kind of, and then hopefully the lack of eating. I think a 14-hour fast, and I don't know. I got to figure out what time the actual contest is so I can. But
now, I don't want to second guess you, and this sounds like good strategy, but you're doing this the night you're playing.
It's
I mean, I just picture Michael saying, "Is there a guitarist in the house?"
Every band is participating, so every band will have someone vomit. It sounds like on stage at some point. That's kind of what we're expecting.
Perfect.
And I think how it's going to work is whoever wins, like that's like the order. Like whoever eats the most gets to go first.
Oh, so there are actual stakes attached to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pick the order of the whole show, basically. Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing. And by the way, I love Soothsayer. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If there's a better thing to have with pizza than the pizza sauce, I don't know what it is.
They just have like everything I've had from them.
Everything's really good,
too. We're a big hot sauce band, I would say. So
Yeah, they are legit. I've got a couple. I've got the Scotch one in my fridge right now, along with the pizza sauce. Oh my God. Yeah, Kyle's a hot sauce genius over there. But let's talk about Nora Marks. Is the band name kind of like Jethro Tull?
Yes.
Is it?
Michael, go ahead, field this one.
No,
You got
that's
this
Matt,
one.
That's Matt.
Okay,
You
fine.
can put him.
Nora Marks is the pen name of an author from me and Michael's hometown, Rensselaer, Indiana, and she also moved to Chicago and she wrote for the Tribune.
It was not only her pen name. I like researched this later and found out it was like her
Investigative journalist.
Yeah, it was like her undercover name when she would go. She was like doing investigative journalism and trying to do stories on like companies that would hire out like maids and like people that could work in more wealthy people's homes. And so that was like her pseudonym that she then kind of like wrote under after.
Yeah.
It's like when Batman wanted to go undercover and he went as Matches Malone when he tried to.
You get me, James.
Yeah. We're also a Batman band. So.
Is that true? Did that reference? Did that reference work with you guys?
It's far too true.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That reference works. That
You mean the Batman pillow I sleep on every night?
That's fantastic. What's it like being single?
Matt.
You're funny, bro.
All right, so let's talk about this album. Let's talk about Opt Out. Now, the album, the way this is arranged, and I think sequencing is an important art, and I think it's a lost art as the world is more frequently digital. The album seems front loaded with sure things. I mean, some of the obvious anthemic, big chorus, hooky songs. I think some of the riskier stuff is tucked at the back end of the album, and some of my favorite songs are on the back end of the album. I think you're taking more chances on the backside.
Yeah, it's that's definitely a very valid and like correct way to look at that. I think we definitely spent a lot of time. That track listing changed like quite a few times.
100 times. Yeah.
I bet.
But before we settled on it. So we also, I think, kind of knew that art was lost and wanted to make sure that we spent the time doing a cool track listing that we thought fit. And essentially, that's kind of where we came like to the end point was like we knew those first 5 or 6 songs were like heavy hitters and and then it does get really weird.
We put transmission right in the middle to kind of be like, and now for something completely different.
Yeah. It's like a minute of just noise, just noise. Really,
very like
my favorite song. One of my favorite songs on the album is 66, which sounds kind of like a cowboy song, which ironically is more of a cowboy song than the Ballad of the Surfing Cowboy on the album.
Well, these are all Robbie creations. 66 was just something we were practicing for an acoustic show we were doing, and I think at like the Suplex City DIY garage venue, and I think we were just messing around, and we started playing this song, and Robbie was kind of like coming up with some vocal melodies and lyrics. And then the next time we got together, he's like, "Oh yeah, I finished that." And I was like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" And he just had a whole song written. And then that kind of just became, we just kept it around for a long time. I mean, it just kicked around for a while. And then it just basically, especially after Matt joined the band, the song just got heavier and heavier and kind of like steamrolled up into this like more country punk thing as opposed to just sort of a straightforward like acoustic country song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's a very meta moment lyrically in that song. It's, "I'm just an empath to the nth degree, trying to make a difference with a bachelor's degree. I know I shouldn't go and rhyme degrees with degrees, but degrees.
It's the best part I love that part of the song. It's my favorite part.
Well, like initially when I went in writing, I was like, all of my songs have like big words and esoteric ideas in them. And it's like, I wanted to write like a simple song. So I was like 66, it's like a road trip. You're going on a road trip with drugs. And it just kind of, I don't know. I took permission. I got permission, I guess. Not whatever, Mike. To be like, I'm a little more silly with it. Not silly, but like tongue in cheek. Just kind of have fun with it, and not take it so seriously. And just that was, shit happens, and you rhyme a word with a word and you just roll with it.
I do enjoy the lyrics, like a general malaise. I know that I've been had trying to exercise my demons, ended up ripping my pants. Who hasn't that happened to? Been there.
Yeah, we definitely, I think Robbie kind of hits on like this idea that I think we really wanted to have a lot of humor in the album, even if it's kind of tucked away or not like in your face, I mean, it's not like the Bloodhound Gang, but it's, a lot of the stuff in there makes me chuckle from time to time. Especially, I think if you kind of know some of these things will stay tucked away with the band here, but if you know kind of the stories behind them, I think they're kind of even funnier. Actually, my favorite part of 66 is when he references Matthew McConaughey, which is like, because in the first chorus, he steals a line from True Detective season 1, and then he re-references that he's doing that later in the song. So that's my favorite part of the whole album, I think.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Now, learning that there are roots in the band from Rensselaer, Indiana, it kind of makes Washboard make sense, because I had family in rural Indiana. My grandparents were from rural Indiana, and they put dishes in the dishwasher, and they had to wash their clothes. So is that pure Indiana that I'm looking at here?
That is 100%.
We were
120% where that came
at
from.
my parents' last summer after we recorded, but before we released the album. We were so happy with it though, and we were having a good time, and we were in their pool and drinking, and I was like, "Hey mom, did you know we named a song after you on the album?" And her heart swelled up, and she was like, "Oh, my boys love me so much." And then I told her it was Washboard, and I just watched her spirit break. But yeah, my mom says Warsh, my grandparents said Warsh.
Yeah, our great grandparents said Warsh.
Well, what's interesting, you mentioned Transmission, which is kind of this noisy minute interlude. Washboard is about a minute long. This feels more like a TV theme song to a TV show that doesn't exist.
Yeah, that really came from just like a jam where I was like, what if I played a washboard? And then I just kind of did it with my drumsticks, and then everybody was like, no, this is cool, kind of. And then we just like that just kind of formed from it. And then once we had that was like, I think the first interlude that we did. And then we did Deer Spit, which is also like a minute, a little over a minute.
Also kind of an Indiana reference, actually.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
And then lastly we did Transmission. So we kind of wanted the interludes too. So I think having the little theme songs and the little, just different kind of like variation, breaking monotony or whatever.
They're like 1 minute ads that show up throughout the album.
That's it. Just to stay on lyrics for one more song. The Olympics are happening as we're recording this. You guys win the gold because I think you're the first band to ever use the word onanism in a song. Look it up, kids. Onanism in the song Step Brothers, which I'm very proud of you. That's a nice inclusion. A+ word. Is that song about the digital life that just the life we've all led for the past 2 years in isolation?
Well, so I wrote that song probably in 2018. So I wrote those lyrics like well before COVID. But yeah, it was definitely like just kind of an observation of like what we do online, just kind of the lives we live through like a very just, weird lens. And yeah, I like getting to do like the frontman thing for a minute, or I guess like 4 minutes. But yeah, it's a fun song.
If you're just joining us, this is Nora Marks, the band. They're at Cobra Lounge on Saturday nights. The new album that we're talking about is Opt Out. Let's jump a little bit to the front end of the album. I think you earned it. Now, this has such a big chorus. When you start listening to the song, you never know what's coming. The chorus just springs on you, and it's kind of a thrilling moment. It kind of veers where you're not expecting it to go.
Yeah, that song was a labor of love, and it was one that I kept around for a long time, in different iterations. And I had recorded like a demo all on my own, the first time I'd ever like recorded drums, like me playing the drums or anything. And I don't know, there was a good chance at one point that it probably wouldn't have even been a Nora Marks song, let alone been on this album, but I'm glad it kept around. And yeah, I love playing that chorus. I mean, we have all these like this flair and all these stage moves when we play that song now. And gotta shout out Kat and Tony, who produced the album, and Tony specifically, who did a lot of I remember doing the guitars for that song, and it was my favorite part of recording.
And now you're talking about, for people who don't know, Cat and Tony, Broken Robots,
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
the nucleus of that super cool band. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And so Tony really helped with like the guitar arrangements, and I think that the stuff he does and sort of the like the way he subdues the verses so that chorus kind of pops and comes out even bigger, it really changes the dynamic of like how that song flows. So yeah, I mean, there's like, that song's so cool. There's like seven guitars, you know, at different points on there. And just the way he mixes everything, he makes like little like things that we were like little additions we had, he makes them kind of like swell up and soar. And yeah, it's fun. And same kind of thing, I remember showing a friend that song after it was mixed and mastered, but again before everything else was done, and he kind of had that same feeling because there's that sort of like outro part that's like a repeat of the intro, and he was like, yeah, I kind of felt like that was gonna be too much song, and then it kind of ends, and so it does kind of leave you, you know, it's just kind of like this swelling thing that just sort of like stops abruptly, and then it goes into washboard, which I think is kind of a fun transition.
I love the punk spirit of Too Much History. That's a great, I think the kids call that a banger.
That's a banger. That's a banger for sure. That's a Matt Garrity song right there. That's our drummer. He wrote that one.
It's awesome. Now, Epiphany I've had before. Did I play this on the radio?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was actually on your first episode of
That's what it was, of Music of Chicago, which my short-lived, though ambitious and though well-intended podcast. Okay, because I'm listening to it, I'm like, God, if I play that on the radio, I hope I was playing an edited version. Not that it matters now.
Yeah.
We got an edited version, right?
We haven't edited.
Yeah.
I probably would have said it too. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love that song. It's
I mean, sonically, you've got like those new wavy vibes and the power pop aesthetic.
I do kind of feel like that song kind of embodies the record the most somehow. It's like real short, but it just, like, there's a reason that we picked that to be one of the two singles, I think, you know what I mean? It kind of picks up like a little bit of every, like all the vibe from every song on the record and puts it into 2 minutes. And it's
still the most fun to play too.
My favorite song to play live.
That was also a labor of love. That was a song that actually started as like a jam where I was insisting that I should play drums for a little while at practice, and Matt was playing guitar, and I think he came up with like the 3-chord riff. And this was at a time when I was like really set on like turning everything into a song. So I just kind of hammered on those 3 chords and started adding things to it and working on it for a while until it kind of came to fruition. And for a long time, it just sounded like an old song of ours called Totems. And then we've kind of found ways to differentiate it and separate it and kind of make it its own thing. And then once it was one that was like interesting, where like I think it was just a song we had for a long time, and then all of a sudden I think it started to click, and it really became clear, I think, to all of us that it was like one of our stronger songs after a while. And maybe that's just due to the simplicity of it. I mean, and you know, it's one of those songs where we're all kind of doing a lot but not doing that much at the same time, and it like Matt said, I think actually it's a good point. It just kind of became the template for everything we did on the record, but especially everything I think we're doing kind of now and into the future, where we're really trying to like scale back to make the song itself kind of like more full and like meaningful.
Well, and that was definitely a song like in like the writing process, like learning, like, because originally like the filler bits had a lot more notes and were played faster, and then it was just like, just slow it down, just do less, and like let the notes ring and kind of let the other instruments kind of fill in. And like it actually, the idea, not just like just go faster, play more notes, that idea was foreign to me, and so
and even
it was like,
even into recording, that's where we started like playing with like feedback as its own its own kind of like quality to the guitar as an instrument, and now Robbie just makes all this sick noise, when we play the song live, and it's just like it just, I mean, obviously the recording of this album and working with Cat and Tony was huge for us, and like just shifting away from like what Robbie's saying, this like 4 dudes in the garage or in the practice space just kind of like doing as much as they can, into how do you like find the song in all of this and then kind of pull apart and add things to like make the song come to life.
Well, I love it. Again, the album is opt out and people can stream it. And more importantly, they can see it live at Cobra Lounge on Saturday night. Looking ahead, there you'll be doing one of the Double Door Sunday sessions first weekend of March. That's Sunday, which is cool, right in the afternoon.
Yep.
I think you're at 3:30.
Yeah.
That's Sunday. Yeah. That's
Sounds
super
right.
fun, free, come one, come all, drink free shitty beer, courtesy of Double Door as they work to renovate that building and rebuild their brand. It's super fun. And then you've got an acoustic show on the way too. I don't know if you want to talk about that. Do you like stripping down like that? Do you like taking, because you just talked about the joy of feedback. Do you
Yeah.
like going the other way?
Well, I
You guys actually probably have different takes on this.
Yeah.
well, no, yeah, like we always, a lot of our first albums, like, and even some of the songs on this album, we wrote initially as acoustic.
Sure.
Just like sitting, the two of us, three of us jamming, picking stuff, people just playing and then kind of growing from there. And so it's nice because, like, I don't know, to me, that's like a sign that the song holds up. Like if you can take
Yeah.
away all the noise and the feedback and you can like still just have like the harmonies between the vocals and what's happening on the instruments, it's like, oh, this is a good song. That's more of a sign. But
No, you're good. Early on too, we were doing a lot of like, and I mean, we still would, of like Robbie and I just doing acoustic shows, and more like DIY stuff. So it's not like totally out of the realm of what we've done, but we did do this session with this group called the Hummingbird. They do like videos and interviews, and they came and filmed us just playing here at my house. And we did like this stripped down version of the song Nice to Me with like an acoustic bass, and just like really minimal drums. And that song translated really well to that. I think so. Personally, I'm excited about just like, and Matt is a great guitar player too. Plays bass in the band, but he's a great guitar player. So this will be a good opportunity to like let him kind of like experiment and see what he does with these songs on guitar, and how Matt kind of like adapts the percussion. So I'm excited to see Matthew. I'm sorry, we got to differentiate these two. How Matthew creates the percussion for it, and yeah, I think it'll be fun. And Uncommon Ground just is a great place, and it's got great sound. And
So you're doing it at Uncommon Ground on Devon?
Yes, the one up on Devon.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's great. We're playing with this touring band called The Great Dying, and they're really tight. They do this for a living. These got like stripped down sets, and Honey Cellar, who are really awesome. So it'll be a great night, I think.
So you had people come to your house and record you doing Nice to Me. I didn't know Carcon Carne was an option for recording in your house. We could have gone.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. I guess I could have shut off. Yeah, we have it's a little cold right now, but we have a great garage for like hosting, and we even thought about throwing our own little shows here. Assuming I've been shoveling the neighbors' sidewalks the last couple of weeks. So hopefully they'll appreciate that and be okay with it.
shit, man, I'll come up there. I'll help.
Yeah, same. Yeah, get the whole block done.
There you go.
Yeah, as we're recording this, we're just about out of just the snowstorm from hell, like snow going sideways 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
Typical
Driving home
Chicago.
was a lot of fun.
All right, so Nora Marks, the snow won't be an issue on Saturday night at Cobra Lounge. We can see you live, which is awesome. I love having the chance to talk to you guys. The new stuff sounds great, and it sounds like everything's kind of heading in the right direction for you.
Yeah,
Thank you
very much.
All excited, yeah.